What's up, everybody? It's KL Toybox, and today we are going to be taking a look at issue number 1 of the Altaya Dino Megazord build. Now, the Altaya Dino Megazord is a giant version of the Dino Megazord, with the Zords based off the ones used in the show. The first issue comes with a really cool large poster, as well as this, which is also a poster. It has some information on the inside about the series. Shows you kind of what the Zords will end up looking like, as well as, when you fold it out, a full poster of the Megazord itself, which is pretty cool. And that, I believe, came with issue number 1, along with some other pamphlets and such about this. I also purchased the storage box for the issues as well. And all of this was brought to you by Tokulectables, which is one of the best places to purchase your tokusatsu merchandise. I even have one of their t-shirts on from the holiday season. And before we jump into the build and sort of the magazine, I'll show you what the cover of number 1 looks like. It is the head of the Dino Megazord. This doesn't signify what is attached to this, but this is the magazine, and we'll get this turned around and we'll start the build. Let's do it. Now that we have this turned around, you can kind of get an idea of how big this set will end up being when it is complete, and it will be completed in 120 issues. I don't know if it will be complete at the end of 2023, but I do know that it will be complete in the 120 issues that they have stated. And as of this video, there is up to 45, with 46 and 47 being up for pre-order as of this recording. So a quick look at the issue number before we get into the coolest thing about it. It has the parts information, the instructions, as well as a little bit of information regarding the show. Of course, it is in French, but with a little bit of Google Translate, it's not too hard, as well as me being able to read some of it, because it's pretty basic information, as well as basic literature and vocabulary, so I'm able to get an idea, just because I took French for such a long time as a kid. But here is the page. You have the Megazord here, the pieces that it comes with, as well as the hardware. And then the instructions, which we will get into. This one is super easy, so it's a great introduction into the set. And then you just have some information about the characters, the show, so on and so forth. After you're done building the set, you know, you can sit down and read through it. There's some cool information, some things that you may know, some things you may not know. And there's that. So this is already off its little tray. It comes on one of these things. It is a Hasbro product, and it comes on a big piece of board. And here is the first issues set. So it's a piece of the chest plate, and this is my hand, and that's how big it is, even though I bumped into the camera, but that's okay. So we're gonna build it. This set doesn't come with a flathead, so I have one handy until we move into the other sets. I do have, as of this video, issues 1 through 7. So let's get this more comfortably set up and start building. And now that we have all the pieces of the first issues set out, we can now begin to assemble them. Before we do, I will point out that some of the pieces will be made out of metal, such as these, which is going to be awesome, as well as a bunch of other components that will be made out of metal. And it will have LEDs, which is super awesome. Set number 2 comes with its own screwdriver for this set, and it is magnetized. I originally thought it wasn't, but all of a sudden it started working, so that's cool. Without further ado, let's start this half and just finish this up for the first set. I'm really excited about this. I wasn't really sure about it at first, because, you know, I have a bunch of Dino Megazords, but whenever I started seeing how it was looking, I was way more enticed to start building the set. And then I saw that on Tokulectables they still had a bunch, and I was talking to one of the owners, and he was like, "Hey, you want to build this?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I purchased the first issues, And here we are, we're doing this whole thing. We're building the entire thing. All 160 issues. We got that lined up. I'm not gonna secure it until I have everything in. But I thought it was neat. I build a lot of model kits, just kidding. I have a stash of model kits that I haven't gotten to, but I do build some. But whenever I saw this, I don't know, I felt way more enticed to build it. So here it is, not fully tightened. There you go. Again, this first set is super simple. We'll just tighten this up real quick. Hands are sweaty. Lined up incorrectly. All right, we almost got that. I want to make sure it's nice and secure. All right, yeah, it's secure over here. Now over here. And I just want to make sure everything's nice and secure and lined up properly. There's a little bit of give on this side. That's better. Oh yeah, much better. Oh, a little bit of give on this side. How's that? That's much better. Then we come to this piece, and this lines up with all of these pegs right here. And then we add all of those screws in, which should be a blast. I'm just kidding. But as I was looking through some of the issues that I've picked up, I saw that it's definitely going to be a fun thing, you know. Like I said, there's going to be LEDs and such, so you're going to be attaching the components, but they made it in a way that you don't necessarily need to do any soldering or anything of that nature. So we just want to line them up with the proper ports and get those screwed in. Or at least just get it lined up. It's not in properly, but we'll at least get started. I'm really glad this is magnetized, because I was testing out the flathead Phillips that I had on hand, and I realized that I had used it previously for something and damaged it. So I'm glad the second issue comes with this, so you don't necessarily have to build right away. Just get them kind of nice and lined up at first, and then we'll tighten them all up, as well as just making sure they're all lined up. So we are almost there. There's a couple issues that look really sweet. Actually, issues 2 and 3 build the Dino Megazord's head, and not in the way that you'd probably think. I was actually kind of surprised on the way that they were deciding to go about this entire set, and looking into it more, getting more information on it, so I can have 120 episodes of this build. Maybe not that many, but a good portion every time we do a set. I think one at a time would be beneficial, but there's probably a few that I'll do in a row, so that will be good. It's starting to get way easier. Just want to make sure we get everybody in their proper spots. I have extra hardware. I want to make sure that it's just an additional piece of hardware and that I'm not doing something incorrectly. Doesn't look like it, but I could be wrong. And hopefully I'm doing all this on camera. It looks like I am, so that's good. All right, so that's on, but it's not super secure. So that is what set 1 looks like. I think it's pretty cool. I'm really excited to continue with all the additional sets. Now I just want to make sure, oh, poor baby. Now I just want to make sure that I put everybody properly. So yeah, there is just an extra screw just in case you happen to lose one. You have 4 on this side, 4 on this side, and then the 2 that make up the 2 sides. So then you just get an additional screw just in case, but definitely good for future sets as well. And I have taken you through the book before, but just so you can see, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I like the images, very retro. It's just nice to have something to look through. You know, Fox Kids had their Kids Club magazine with some information on different shows and stuff and games. So this is definitely just really cool. Go back to that set, and we'll just tighten everything up, and we'll wrap this up. And now that we have the screws all secured into the chest plate, we can see how sturdy this is going to be, as well as give you an idea of how large the pterodactyl will be, as this is her base of her body, and it just looks super nice so far, and I'm excited for the future builds. Speaking of future builds, this tool comes with issue number 2, which will be the next episode of this builds series, and we will get to see what part of the Megazord we're going to start building, even though I already mentioned it earlier on in this video. And if you want to pick up some of these issues, as well as take a look at more tokusatsu madness, head on over to tokulectables.com. I'll have a link in the description directly to their site, as well as me. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as subscribe here, and make sure you leave a comment. And I am excited to bring to you the next episode of this long journey, but it'll be well worth it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.